Manchester United may have just made one of their biggest decisions of the entire summer. But while one transfer story is heating up by the hour, another situation behind the scenes is getting messier and messier. And one player United have wanted for weeks is now edging closer to a London rival instead. There's also a major update on Marcus Rashford's future at Old Trafford, and a decision from INEOS that's already dividing fans. This is everything you need to know. Let's start with the updates that keep blowing up United's timeline right now. Mateus Fernandez. For weeks, everyone connected to Manchester United has known one thing: United want this player. They've been working on it behind the scenes for what feels like forever. But here's where things get uncomfortable. Reports are now suggesting Fernandez is edging very close to agreeing personal terms with Tottenham. Yes, Tottenham. I think you already know it, but a club that, as it stands, hasn't even held official negotiations with West Ham. So how is this possible? How does a club with no formal talks suddenly find itself closer to personal terms than the club that's allegedly been chasing this deal for weeks? That's the question every United fan is asking today. Now, before anyone panics completely, let's bring in the full picture, because there's more nuance here than the headlines suggest. According to transfer insider Fabrizio Romano, Fernandez's top priority remains Manchester United. Tottenham, in his words, are still operating in the shadows. Romano also says United are keen to follow up the Fernandez pursuit with a move for Crysencio Summerville, who is expected to leave West Ham this summer, with several clubs already showing interest. So this isn't just about one player, it's about a broader West Ham raid. But that's not the whole story. Romano adds that Manchester United have been in direct contact with Fernandez's camp and with West Ham for weeks now. Real, ongoing dialogue, not just background noise. Tottenham, meanwhile, have also picked up the phone and contacted the player's agent, trying to muscle their way into the race. United are reportedly informed on West Ham's asking price, and Fernandez has officially been added to their shortlist, with a move expected to develop soon. And here's the part that matters most for nervous fans. United are described as actively pushing in negotiations with both Fernandez's camp and West Ham, trying to find a workable solution. During those same conversations, they're also asking about Summerville. So while it might look like United are sitting back doing nothing, the claim is they're working two deals from the same club simultaneously. Now here's the detail most fans have missed. United are said to be fully aware of Tottenham's interest and their direct approach to Fernandez's camp. But internally, the belief at Old Trafford is that they remain the most advanced club in this race. Why? Because Fernandez's preferred destination is reportedly still Manchester United, and that hasn't changed. That means he wants United, but this is where the situation becomes complicated. Belief and internal confidence don't sign contracts. Time does. And right now, time is not necessarily on United's side. Which brings us to a strong reaction from former United defender Rio Ferdinand. Speaking on Tottenham's pursuit of Fernandez, Ferdinand didn't hold back. He said that if Manchester United allow Spurs to sign Fernandez, it would only make sense if United already had a backup plan in place. One that involves going all in on Vitinha and combining that with a move for Sandro Tonali. Ferdinand's message to the club was blunt. INEOS need to act now and act fast. Time, he said, is not on their side. He added that losing a proven Premier League performer to Tottenham for no real reason would be nothing short of shameful, especially if Spurs end up hijacking what has been described as United's main midfield target. Strong words, but understandable ones, given how this saga has dragged on. Let's break down why this actually matters. If Fernandez does end up walking into Tottenham, it wouldn't just be a missed signing. It would be a statement about how United operate in the transfer market. Weeks of contact, reported confidence and a preferred club status undone by a rival's faster, more direct approach. On the other hand, if United do get this over the line, alongside a potential Summerville addition, it would represent 2 added layers of Premier League quality and depth, exactly the kind of dual signing approach that's worked for this club recently. Either way, this is a story that isn't finished yet, and the next few days could define how it's remembered. Now, let's shift to a story with a very different tone, Marcus Rashford, because while one midfield pursuit drags on, there's growing belief that United are actually prepared to keep one of their own academy products for next season. Reports suggest Manchester United are open to keeping Rashford beyond this summer, largely driven by manager Michael Carrick, who is said to have expressed a genuine desire to work with the England international. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Rashford had been linked with Bayern Munich, but that move now looks unlikely. Why? Because Bayern are reportedly closing in on PSV Eindhoven midfielder Ismail Saibari instead, a deal that would shift their summer priorities elsewhere. But that's not the only reason. Multiple reports now suggest Bayern Munich are not actively considering a move for Rashford this summer at all, despite earlier suggestions of an imminent bid. The biggest sticking point? Money. Rashford's potential salary is reportedly seen as a serious concern for Bayern, especially given how high their existing wage bill already is. So here's the bigger picture. A move that once looked like it was gathering momentum now appears to be cooling significantly. And with Carrick reportedly keen to build around him, a stay at Old Trafford is becoming a realistic and maybe even comfortable possibility. For United, that would mean keeping a homegrown attacking option without having to dip back into the market to replace him. For Rashford, it could mean a genuine fresh start under a manager who actually wants him there. And finally, let's talk about a player United have decided not to chase and why that decision says a lot about their transfer strategy this summer. Ayyoub Bouaddi. The 18-year-old Lille midfielder has been turning heads at the World Cup. His performance against Brazil in Morocco's opener was, by most accounts, a masterclass. So dominant in midfield that Brazil were forced to withdraw Casemiro at half-time. That kind of performance usually sends transfer rumours into overdrive, and United have genuinely tracked him before. Sky Sports reported back in January that Bouaddi was on United's list of midfield targets. So here's the twist. Despite that World Cup form, and despite Arsenal reportedly being firmly in the race for him, Manchester United have chosen not to escalate their interest. According to Sky Sports' Dharmesh Sheth, United have simply prioritised other midfield options this summer. They've already agreed a deal for Ederson from Atalanta, and they're now fully focused on pursuing Mateus Fernandez at West Ham. In other words, the midfield budget and attention is going elsewhere. Now here's the analysis worth thinking about. Bouaddi's profile, press resistance, defensive intensity, high volume ball recovery is exactly the kind of midfield destroyer United have craved for years. Stepping back from that pursuit is a notable decision. But there's logic behind it too. INEOS appear to be leaning on a strategy that's already worked, prioritising proven Premier League quality, the same approach that brought in Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo, rather than competing in what's likely to become a fierce, expensive bidding war for a breakout World Cup talent. By stepping away now, United may also be avoiding a price war they simply don't need to be part of. So let's bring it all together. Fernandez's situation remains unresolved, with Tottenham circling, but United insisting they're still in pole position. Summerville now firmly on the radar as a potential second West Ham addition. Rashford's Old Trafford future looking steadier than it has in months. And Bouaddi, a player United are choosing to let go in favour of a more calculated approach elsewhere. So what do you think? Should Manchester United push ahead with these deals? Which player would be your priority signing? And what happens next? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications for more Manchester United updates here on RedBreak. See you to the next one.